Hello, hello, and welcome, my Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your Twin Flame contract read for May, June 2020. I am your reader, Angelo, Lyons, Mal for short, professional, witch, professional, intuitive, and president of Drawing the Circle Productions. If I didn't say that already, it's been a tricky morning. I hope you are all well. If you are new to my channel, please do like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell. I'm putting out content every day. I've been saying almost every day, but I checked. I've been putting out content every day. Live streams in the morning and night, sometimes either or, depending on my energy levels. Doing some prayer, some meditation. Also putting out from my back catalog on Vimeo.com, pulling some of my videos from there, taking the meditations and stuff, editing them and putting them out on YouTube for you all, just to get us all through this challenging time we're in. So if you are so interested, please do check them out. Like them too, if you will, because we're all in this together. Unity, consciousness, fifth dimensional awareness, and all that jazz. But let's get down to business. This is a general read, right? Not a private specific read, a general read. So please take what resonates, leave what does not, and check your other signs. I'm keeping these readings shorter than usual. I know the Twin Flames and the Soulmate reads are really a favorite on my channel, but upload times have been ridiculous. So something that's like 45 minutes takes like 3 hours sometimes, and it just drives me up a wall. So trying to keep them a little bit shorter so that you can check your other signs and get more pieces of the puzzle. There are only 15 cards in this spread. I think you'll like it though. It's informative without being burdensome, I hope. So keep in mind, this is a Twin Flame contract read. Twin Flames are a variety of soul contracts where you teach each other how to heal and love yourselves. Now that sounds nice, but if you think about it, it's because they can't give you the love, the respect, the acceptance, the approval, the boundaries that you have to set for yourself, that you have to give yourself. So they're brilliant teachers, but they can be turbulent relationships, tumultuous relationships, traumatic, triggery, but ultimately transformative. And they're wonderful if you know how to work them, right? If you kind of learn from them. They're great teachers for sure, and they help you become the mate of your own soul, so you become your own soulmate, and therefore more apt to bring into your life, when you are so ready, a satisfying soulmate. Contract, nor are they all romantic sexual, just like soulmates and twin flames. You have more than one. They're not all romantic sexuals, obviously. My father is a twin flame contract. My mother is a soulmate contract. It's just how it worked. It's what I signed up for, apparently. So we're going to look at these like a contract. We're going to have the Divine Feminine over here, party A, and the Divine Masculine over there, party B. Nothing to do with biological gender, more to do with energetic dynamic. You're going to have to kind of feel out which one you are, and I know it's been helping people get clarity, but these have been tricky this time around because of the situation that we are in on planet Earth. A lot of people in their own domains, so to speak, with people that are in twin flame contracts with them, are really feeling the pressure. The expiration dates seem to have passed on some of those relationships, or at least that's the theme it has been for the most part with these reads. So if you focus on your breath and I focus on my breath, we're both going to be tuned to the present moment, to the source of all guidance and grace, and we'll be able to help you navigate through this twin flame contract. Cool? Take a nice deep breath. All the decks that I read are in the description box all the way at the bottom. We're going to start with the Caroline Mace archetype deck. I'll call out the others as we go. Here we go. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved. Please, 2 cards, one for the Divine Feminine, one for the Divine Masculine, in this Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign Twin Flame contract for May, June 2020. Please, one for the Divine Feminine. Oh, that's 2. I would have taken it if it was just one. That's the code, right? That's the agreement that I have with them. If I ask for 2 cards, that they're done separately. So please, 1 for the Divine Feminine. Come on, man. 1 for the Divine Feminine. There we go. And 1 for the Divine Masculine in this Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. If 2 come out, it means it's just not the right cards, right? So that's how I gotta work it. Let's see who we got. Ooh, it's an interesting combo. We've got the Divine Feminine Avenger archetype, member of the Action family, and the Divine Masculine Monk Nun. Now, we'll say monk just because we're dealing with feminine and masculine here, but remember, not to do with biological gender. So we've got the Action family and the Divine family. Very, very interesting combo. The shadow attribute of the Avenger archetype is resorting to violence in the name of a cause. Not great. The shadow attribute, desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. So the thing about the shadow attribute is usually in a twin flame contract, that's the content that is you're learning how to heal within yourself, right? The relationship's teaching you how to heal that the other cannot help you heal that. That's what soulmates do. Soulmates help each other heal. Twin flames teach each other how to heal themselves, right? So the Avenger archetype, right? Very Black Widow, the Divine Feminine, Ms. Marvel. Comic book geek from the 70s. The Monk Nun archetype, a Divine Family member. The shadow attribute, negative judgment of the physical world. Now, right there, you're going to be able to tell the difference if you're the Avenger or the Monk Nun in the shadow, right? Negative judgment of the physical world, excess piety. Piety is a good thing. I know we don't like the idea of someone who's pious. They tend to think of themselves better than other people, holier than thou, and that's certainly an attribute of the monk or nun. But it's almost exclusionary in its divinatory discipline, right? Almost to the point where it's so obedient to certain laws of their own spiritual path that they become strict and harsh and excessive, which is really just the ego co-opting their spirituality, which we all go through that too. It's a stage of incubation we all go through. The light attribute, though, selfless devotion and single-minded dedication to spirit. So really lovely. I have a nice touch of the monk archetype myself. I've often said I would love to go spend some time in a monastery, but you know, I'm gay, I'm pagan, and they don't have Wi-Fi usually. Just saying. So if you're not sure yet which one you are, maybe you do relate to either or both. We're going to take 5 cards from the Daughters of the Moon Tarot and 5 cards from the Mythic Tarot to clarify. We're going to use a lovely little spread I've been reading since high school. I'm going to be 52 in September, Virgo that I am. Been doing this a while. Called the Element Spread, Fire, Earth, Air, Water, Spirit. I think you'll like it. Take a nice deep breath. My goddesses, please, 1 card in clarity for the Avenger, Divine Feminine Avenger archetype. I'm feeling that. For this Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, Twin Flame contract for May, June 2020. Please, my goddesses, 1 card to start with. Her element of fire, what does she desire? Her element of earth, what does she want? Her element of air, what is she thinking? Her element of water, what is she feeling? Her element of spirit, what is the voice of the soul? That came out pretty quickly. Let's have a look. What does this Avenger archetype want? She wants temperance. She wants discipline. She wants balance. The Temperance card is often about a slow process. In this picture, she is balancing or tempering her water emotion and her fire desire so that they don't cancel each other out, because fire and water, right? Too much fire evaporates the water, too much water puts out the fire. But tempering does take time. I've been using all sorts of different examples when I teach tarot throughout the decades. The one I look at now is tempering eggs, right? If you're cooking, if you want to make a particular sauce that is egged base, and if you heat it up too quickly, the eggs will curdle or become scrambled eggs. Well, you don't want that if you're doing a smooth sauce, right? or if you're baking and you don't want them to curdle in something. So you have to do that gradually. You gradually add a warmer element to it, usually a liquid of some kind, as you whisk the eggs. But if you do it too fast, they scramble, right? So it's a slow and steady process, bringing something into balance. So that's wonderful to see that the Avenger wants that, particularly in a soulmate contract, to kind of learn what she's got to learn, heal what she's got to heal, but do it gradually, not necessarily cut and run all at once when she's done. Well, let's see. What has she got to get her there? Well, excellent. She's got the card of the Sun. Now, I will say that's 2 major arcana cards in a row. When it's fire and earth like that, then it's the fire, what she desires, and the earth, the fuel that she already has to help her get what she wants. The card of the Sun definitely lightens things. In any spread that you see, it often brings an element of enlightenment, of happiness, of wholeness, of clarity, right? The Sun, how it diffuses obscurity in that way, bringing things out into the sunlight. So she really has found her own happiness, probably from within. That Avenger archetype, right? Righteousness on behalf of oneself or society. Maybe she's gotten right with herself. Oh, interesting. And a desire to balance the scales of justice, and Temperance is very much about that. Maybe has found that balance within herself between what she wants, her element of fire, and her element of water, about how she feels about herself, what she wants for herself, and how she feels about herself. That she can really achieve that now that she's gotten some enlightenment, some clarity under her belt. What's going on in her element of air? What she's thinking. 3rd major arcana card, the card of strength. So she is probably thinking about her moving forward, right, with her life, following her heart, courage. Now, the card of strength, isn't about physical strength usually. Certainly, I suppose, could be. But it's about that heart, that courage, that fortitude, that whatever it is that's going on emotionally has the strength to do that. Now, this is on her mind, so perhaps now that she's got this sunlight in her, she's really thinking about, how do I follow my truth? How do I follow the voice of my soul, which will be our 5th card? How do I do this? Do I have the fortitude? Do I have the emotional strength? Do I have the honor? Can I keep my conduct in alignment with this happiness that I've had in order to do what I need to do to move forward? So perhaps strategizing a bit. But 3 major arcana cards, this has got to be some kind of spiritual awakening sort of dealio. Do you know what I'm saying? What's going on in her element of water? 4th major arcana card. Okay. Now, no joke. The Hermit, right? The Hermit, the Kaliak, riding the gray horse over a stone circle. Looks like Stonehenge, but let's just call it a stone circle. Just like we see in most cards of the Hermit, in some kind of high altitude, to see things from a higher place, but goes there voluntarily. So that we've got the strength on her mind, and the Hermit, the Kaliak, the wise one, she who rides alone, in her heart, that she is ready to move on. I have to say, she might be feeling very alone in this relationship anyway, particularly if this monk nun has that kind of excess piety that they're just no fun anymore. And there's no balance to it, right? It can be very sterile with the monk nun archetype. But also that she's found some happiness for herself. She may very well be strategizing how to go through this, but is probably keeping to herself right now, not revealing all of her cards, so to speak. What's the voice of the soul? Voice of the soul says Ace of Flames. The Ace of Wands, go for it. That there's a new inspiration, there's a new desire, there's a new passion calling her forward, but she's going to have to balance things out. And that might mean bide her time, right? There is that element of time, patience in the card of Temperance. Oh, I reversed their positions. Let's not do that, Virgo that I am. So do keep that in mind. If you're the Aquarian, Divine Feminine Avenger here, you are going to have to take your time, but the soul is saying, begin again, start again, follow that passion. You're going to balance that fire with your emotions, but maybe in her emotions right now, she's feeling so alone, and yet has this, I almost want to say, this positive energy about her as a result, that if it's been a little bit of a drudge, things have been out of balance, she's ready to take action. Remember, the Avenger archetype is a member of the action family. Let me just get a sip. Hold on 1 second. I make really good coffee. So tasty. Let's ask the gods, the mythic tarot here, for this monk nun, because I don't get a bad vibe about the monk nun. It's just that they might have other fish to fry right now, might not be able to give too much to an outer relationship when their own inner relationship with themselves, with the divine, might be more at hand. And keep in mind, like I said, my father and I were twin flame contracts. This isn't necessarily a romantic deal. It can be. And we loved each other very much. It was just he didn't want a gay son, you know, so he never, even until his deathbed, never really accepted me or that. Loved me, but was still very disappointed in me because of that, and that's okay. It drove me into therapy. It drove me into healing. It drove me onto my spiritual path faster than anything else, because he was Roman Catholic, and I was going to hell in his eyes. And, you know, I was already a pagan before that. I was like, the goddess will take me as is. Thank you very much. And here I am. Right? So I get that monk nun. My father did have a touch of the monk archetype in him, and I inherited that from him, as well as his love of God. I sort of inherited. And I do love God and Goddess and Zeus and Buddha and Jesus and all y'all. Eclectic witch that I am. Shall we breathe? My gods, please. Element spread, 5 cards for this monk, nun, divine masculine archetype in this Aquarian collective, sun, moon, rising, Venus sign, twin flame, contract for May, June 2020, element of fire. What is element of fire? 1 card. What does he want? There we go. Element of earth. What does he have to help him get what he wants? Element of air. What is he thinking? Element of water. What is he feeling? Element of spirit. What is the voice of his soul? There we go. Just get them all nice and symmetrical. I'm such a Virgo. Okay, element of fire. What does he desire? Well, the 8 of Swords. He really does want to stick to his guns mentally. This is not somebody, the 8 of Swords, if you think Rider-Waite Tarot, is like blindfolded and bound, right? Perhaps a bit fixated, right? Perhaps an overthinker to the point of a one-track mind. So really, I'm not feeling wants to give up their point of view here. Now, fixed air, I will say, is an Aquarian trait. So this might be the Aquarian, but this also feels like the Aquarian in terms of wanting their own freedom to follow their own path. So that's going to play itself out. For some of you, you're going to be the divine masculine. For some of you, you're going to be the divine feminine. But I see what brought you together, right? I see the twin aspect going on in this reading. So maybe stuck between a rock and a hard place, but it's probably going to stick to their guns, at least in terms of their spiritual principles, which isn't a bad thing. Maybe that's the exact right thing for this monk nun archetype to do, if they kind of, what is it, selfless devotion and single-minded dedication to spirit. This can be very much a single-minded mental dedication in terms of principles. What does he have? Well, the Ace of Cups. There is a seed of love there, right? This is Aphrodite offering the Ace of Cups. It would be great for a drag queen the size of it. That's why drag queens need big drinks, makes their hands look smaller. So there's definitely an element here of what they have is a seed of love. It's like I said, it's not that the love isn't there. This need not be a romantic sexual thing, but it might be that this person's divine relationship is way more important than a physical one, right? The shadow attribute, negative judgment of the physical world. So may not be so into the physical part of it, but there is a seed of love here, that there is an offering of love. Maybe this is an offering of love from someone else, or from the divine, or the divine offering love in a new way, right? Having more of an emotional thing. I mean, I'm a mystic. I get it. I break out into tears with the love of the divine every now and again. Love of divine both as a noun and a verb, sometimes simultaneously, which is really hard to explain. Makes your brain hemispheres clap together. But I can feel that, and really doesn't want to have to give that up. The other thing could be is maybe this Avenger is not into their spiritual path in the same way, or on a spiritual path, even though, like I said, it feels like there's a spiritual thing going on here. I mean, 4 major arcana cards out of 5 for the divine feminine Avenger. It certainly gives you pause. You know, what is he thinking? Page of Cups. Now, I'm going to use the word immature here. But that just means beginning stages. It doesn't necessarily mean childish, right? An acorn is an immature oak tree, if you want to look at it that way. The Page of Cups here is about self-reflection, is about a new reception of love. Perhaps a new experience of self-love is on his mind, considering that we've got that Ace of Cups down there too, that this might be going through some emotional healing, some emotional reflection, and really not shocking for the time that we are in, particularly if you are home alone without somebody in your energy field that way. The tendency for someone with the monk nun archetype would of course go into prayer, meditation, contemplation, that space. I can relate to that great big huge. I live alone, I've got my 3 cats, and I talk to people all day long, but it's not the same, and I'm lucky that way. I get to spend all day in prayer. Yesterday was my day off. I certainly edited some videos I didn't record yesterday except for 2 live streams, but the time that I spent with the divine was one of opposite ends of the emotional spectrum. So is absolutely on their mind is a lot of emotional reflection, perhaps looking at how much do I want to commit to a relationship when it's my relationship with the divine that is sustaining me in general, but perhaps right now. Yeah, but now here's the thing. This is a game changer here. We go from the Ace of Cups to what they're feeling is the 2 of Cups. It is very possible that this monk nun archetype is very emotionally attracted to this Avenger archetype or someone else. See, this is what makes me think this Ace of Cups, there might be a new, possibly a soulmate contract being offered. And is certainly reflecting of, well, how do I do this? How do I extricate myself? Am I going to do this? Now, if they're not understanding what a twin flame and a soulmate contract are, the differences between the two, this might be very hard for them, right? But the gods brought me this person. How can I just walk away? Hence, really wanting to stick to their guns, at least mentally, in terms of principle here. But I don't get the feeling here that this is someone who sleeps around. I feel like this is somebody who really wants to keep their physical, emotional, sexual conduct in alignment with their mental understanding and their spiritual attributes of the soul. So that may play itself out. It could be that they are still very attracted to the Avenger here, but more like, because this is an Ace of Cups, either that or this is a really new relationship, but I'm not getting that. This is, they're emotionally being pulled elsewhere, and it's probably a great big conflict for them. And the voice of the soul is saying 10 of Pentacles here. Let me just pop that light off. Nope, you're not going to do it for me? Yeah, screw you then. Oh, there we go. The 10 of Pentacles. I guess I had to curse at the light. To curse at the light, howl at the moon, bark at the moon. Ozzy Osbourne. The 10 of Pentacles, we know the 10 of Pentacles. It is a card of harvest, right? The soul is saying there is a potential here for you, monk, nun, archetype, divine, masculine, to have that fulfillment, to have that satisfaction. But I'm telling you, in a twin flame contract, it's not going to be with this Avenger. So, has the lesson been learned here? That's kind of up to you all. You don't have to learn the lesson for somebody else. You have to learn it for yourself. So what have you learned from this relationship in terms of respecting your own fire, earth, air, water, and spirit, right? To embrace your own path, to go your own way and call it another lonely day. And that's the vibe that I'm getting here. They can't give each other what the other wants. And it really does feel like with that Hermit card for the Divine Feminine and the emotional place, she's already sort of moved on, pulled back, introspective, big time, found her own happiness. For the Divine Masculine, that might be true as well, has met someone else and is being pulled by their own spirit as well for a promise of something more stable, because it could very well be that this Avenger wants more freedom, wants more fun, wants more out there, and this monk nun wants something a bit more traditional, a bit more settled, maybe not so much traditional, but settled, stable, solid, soulmate. Yeah. Last card down, right? We've got 12 on the table. The last one will, I'm sure, be hopeful. A healing mantra deck card. Matt Kahn's healing mantra deck, so helpful for me, for my clients. I don't do these in daily readings every day. I do daily readings in the morning Put it out there for the world, all 12 signs, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. But the healing mantra cards I try not to do every day, although I could, because I like to read from the bookie book. Why? Because one card has, each card has the name of the mantra, and then the mantra, that's all that's written on it. So the little booklet has really, really good guidance in it. So it doesn't matter if you are the Divine Feminine Avenger or the Divine Masculine Monk Nun, work the mantra, it will help you heal. What are the chances they're going to share it with each other, right? Maybe. Pretty sure that happens. Nice deep breath. As we ask the Ascended Masters, please, one card in clarity for this Aquarian Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, Twin Flame contract for May, June 2020, involving this Divine Feminine Avenger and this Divine Masculine Monk Nun archetype. Please, what is their perfect healing mantra? One that will help either one of them heal the more that they work it. What do we got here? Grounding my energy. It is safe to be in my body. Here we go. Where are you? There we go. Grounding my energy. It is safe to be in my body. Now, by the way, powerful mantra for everybody right now. I am going to read this for you because it's, I get the time that we're in. It doesn't feel safe to be anywhere, but does it feel safe to be in your body? When your energy is grounded, you are no longer wrestling with the pain of the past or chasing after potential future outcomes. You dare to demonstrate your very best attributes and qualities, no matter how you are perceived or received by others. This really does feel like they're getting ready to go their own way. With your energy grounded, your mind can relax as your body becomes a more enjoyable environment to inhabit. This mantra is ideal for replacing compulsive thoughts, releasing addictive behavior, and finding stability. So I have a feeling the Monk Nun is going to, if they're the one watching this, really going to work this mantra. If you're the one watching it, it is safe to be in my body. There is something so much better destined for you, but you have to learn this lesson. I'm not going to say it's your next relationship, but your relationship with the divine will bring you there. As far as this Avenger goes, feels like more of a risk taker anyway, is willing to go it alone, wants to develop that endurance of the Strength card, so feeling safe in the body will help them really create that temperance. It may be slow going, but we'll certainly be able to walk away from this in a healthier way. And by the way, if this is not romantic sexual, like I'm feeling, not for everybody it's not going to be, this could be, oh God, this could play itself out with two friends that it's just not great anymore. The friendship is sort of stale. This could certainly be with a family member, and if you are living in the same place, sequestering in your domain together, this could be really like, as soon as I can get out of here, I'm getting out of here. But one is sort of being called to a new beginning from the soul. The other, it's so funny, one is being called by the soul to an ace, the other being called to a 10. So wanting very different things, and they just can't give that to each other right now. So let's pop up the picture, and we'll see what else reveals itself. Magic clap. Again, we have the Divine Feminine Avenger archetype, the shadow attribute resorting to violence in the name of a cause. And maybe that's what she's tempering, right? Like tempering to not do this in a harmful, painful way. But the light attribute, desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness, which means the word righteous is the opposite of abuse, right? Use, abuse, right? Righteousness on behalf of society or oneself, in my senses, is this is right use of herself, trying to do this the right way, to use her power the right way, to take action the right way. And that would make sense with that card of Temperance there. That's what she wants, is to balance this, to do it in a sane, stable, harmless way, though, you know, you can't make an omelet without breaking eggs. Perfect egg tempering metaphor there. But with that card of the sun in her element of earth, definitely is seeing her way forward, seeing clearly. She can see clearly now. She can see all the way. Thank you, Debbie Harry. And what's on her mind is that card of courage, strength, of fortitude, really thinking about how strong she's going to have to be to do this. This might very well be familial, right? This might be with a family member. This might be with a parent that they just can't be there anymore in the role that the family has them for, and is feeling a little cut off in that emotional place. But remember, the Hermit is not someone in exile. The Hermit goes willingly. So perhaps seeing things from a higher perspective. And I have to say, 4 major arcana cards in a row here. And it's funny, the Monk Nun doesn't have any major arcana cards, that this person might be going through a real change spiritually and feeling like they're on their own, right? That they kind of have to take this journey on their own. They have to go on their own vision quest. And certainly with the voice of the soul, the Ace of Flames, creation, calling them forward to follow that spark, to tend it into a flame, a torch, a bonfire, and then an inferno, making all the way to the 10 of Flames. Jumping over here to the Divine Masculine Monk Nun archetype, the shadow attribute, negative judgment of the physical world and excess piety. I mean, that's just no fun to be around. I mean, I understand if you're in a monastery, but if you're in a relationship, that can be horrible regardless of the form the relationship takes. The light attribute, selfless devotion and single-minded dedication to spirit, which in its light is magnificent when it's to God, when it's to another person, when it's to a relationship. Sometimes people can stay too long after the expiration date of the relationship has already come and gone. And with that 8 of Swords, I'm sort of getting that, stuck between a rock and a hard place, really not so much a place of indecision, but wanting to really stand according to certain principles, but almost can't win for losing there, really in the mental struggle there. So in terms of element of fire, what they want, it would be like a peaceful resolution, a divine intervention, if you will, considering the god Apollo is right there in the picture. And what they have to do that is the Ace of Cups. That really does feel like a new offer of love. They both have aces here, but when you have the Ace of Cups in the Earth position, it says something that you already have, something that has manifested, perhaps a new emotional opportunity. And with that 2 of Cups in the element of water, that's definitely a strong emotional attraction. One would think it would be romantic, but maybe it is to a project, although I would see that more as an element of fire, but we'll get there, because the Page of Cups, what's on their mind is a lot of self-reflection about emotions, not just in terms of what they want, but in terms of what they feel. So it's totally makes sense that a monk nun archetype would be contemplating their emotions. What is their heart reflecting there? Now, the image in that card is that of Narcissus, where we get, the narcissist archetype from. But I'm not feeling that here. I'm not feeling this is a selfishness. This is really about beginning stages of emotional self-reflection. Perhaps examining some of those negative judgments of the physical world if the 2 of Cups is calling them forward. This could very much be someone who is very devoted and loyal to a relationship that has gone stale and is sort of over, and being called elsewhere, but is really struggling with their own spiritual, perhaps even religious views on such things. Even if it is with a parent or a child that they are dealing with, but the soul is calling them forward to the 10 of Pentacles, that stability, that family, that harvest of happiness, health, wealth, and wisdom, all in balance. But since all of them seem to be very much in the air element of Aquarius here, a lot of thinking, maybe not so much immediate doing, the grounding their energy, the grounding my energy mantra, it is safe to be in my body, feels like it would help them, both of them, slowly but surely, step by step, resolve this twin flame contract so they can move on to happier, healthier, wealthier, and wiser relationships, let alone lives. So there you are, my Aquarians. There is your twin flame reading. May the Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all that they need in their twin flame contracts for May, June 2020, that they may heal, that they may grow, that they may find their way moving forward onto their highest, best, and most blessed path for the well-being of all. So mote it be. And so it is. Thank you for watching. Please do, again, like the video. hit the notification bell and subscribe, please. I appreciate it. Every time you do that, more people get to see the videos. It'll be helping some other people there. And by all means, if you're feeling it, please do comment in the comment section below. Otherwise, wishing you the very best and the very blessed of the rest of May and into June. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.